Welcome to Man That's Cooking. In this video, we're going to show you how to make easy salsa. That's right, homemade salsa is better than store-bought. Why? Well, Google it. What chemicals are in store-bought salsa? Xanthium gum? Have you been to planet Xanthium lately? I mean, it's much worse than Earth these days. Alright, let's make some salsa. Now, we're going to start with 1 can of fire-roasted tomatoes. This is optional, but this is organic, so it should be xanthium gum free. And what you want to do is drain off all the liquid. Draining off the liquid prevents a soggy salsa, and that's kind of the theme of this salsa. So the next ingredient is 4 vine-ripened tomatoes. So take your chef's knife, cut these tomatoes into quarters, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use a paring knife and we're going to cut out the seeds. And of course this is also an optional step, but they have a lot of liquid, a lot of goo, and if you want to include that you can, but at least cut off the stems, unless you want to have some fiber in your diet. Now we're using the Victorinox paring knife. It's a dirt cheap knife. They're practically giving them away on the Amazons. Pick yourself up a couple of those. They're really nice and sharp and easy to use. And by the way, we don't get any checks from any of these products that we mention here in these videos. That's not the point, and all you Chinese companies can stop sending us emails. We're not going to show your products. Thank you. Anyway, this should just take a few minutes to cut through these tomatoes, and then we're on to the 4 garlic cloves. So just smash the garlic cloves like this. That's going to help you take off the outer paper skin pretty easily. And then do just a rough cut on these garlic cloves and put them into the food processor. Next, we're going to take a quarter of a red onion. We're going to cut the ends off, and we're going to take the outside skin paper off and just do a rough cut like this, nothing special, and add it to the food processor. So the food processor bin is getting full, and you want to just press pulse a few times to break down the stuff that's in there and make room for more stuff. So if you don't have a food processor but you have a blender, you can use that, that's fine. Just be very careful with it. Don't turn it on, and do not run it for very long because you don't want to end up with a salsa smoothie. Alright, so now that we've made some room, we're going to add 2 jalapeno peppers, and we're going to cut the seeds out, but if you're feeling all cowboyish, you can keep those seeds in. Just cut off the stems, unless of course, again, you need some fiber in your diet. Now these seeds can definitely bring up the heat, and if you're okay with that, leave them in. That's not a problem at all. Next, we're adding one of these serrano peppers, and these are pretty hot as well. Again, we're going to remove the seeds. If you like it hot, keep the seeds in. If you're into heat, you probably know by now, but some peppers are hit or miss. They might be hot, they might not. So take a little bite, decide if it's hot. If it's not and you want it more hot, add the seeds. And next we're going to add about a 1/4 cup of cilantro without the stems. And then we're going to add a 1/2 of a lime juiced. If you want to do the whole lime, go for it. 1/2 a lime is good enough, but you do you. Now we're on the home stretch. We're going to add some seasoning. 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. If you have coarse black pepper, that's the best. And if you lost your 1/4 teaspoon and you just have the 1/8 teaspoon, do it twice. Alright, so pulse once again. You want to break down the large chunks at the top and draw them into the blade. Once you do that, go ahead and turn the processor on and let it run for about 1 minute to about 2 minutes. And you'll see here that you've got a lot of chunks here. That's the consistency you're going for. So if you have a blender, be very careful. You don't want to just run it at high and turn it all into just a flat smoothie. You want chunks just like this. Alright, so here's what we've got. Take a look at that. Food porn flyover. Take a look at that salsa. Looking good. So you want to put this in a refrigerator overnight. You can eat it right away, but the flavors aren't combined yet. The best thing you can do is let it combine. Give it at least 24 hours, and it's going to taste a lot different than it does when you make it fresh. When you make it fresh, it's not quite there yet, right? So let it sit overnight, let the flavors combine. You're going to be very happy with the end result, and you don't have to worry about the side effects of xanthium gum and eating a bunch of that stuff, because who wants to eat that? So hey, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you try this at home. It's a pretty easy recipe. It does involve some work, but as mentioned, you're going to have a lot better flavor, a lot less chemicals than that store-bought stuff. This is going to last about a week in your refrigerator. You probably don't want to keep it too much longer than that because there's no chemicals preserving it. So be safe, toss it after a week. Can you freeze it? Yeah. You probably don't really want to do that, but we always say, you do you. So hey, click like, click subscribe, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, manthat'scooking.com. Thanks for watching.